Am I the a-hole for taking back my PS5 my mom gave to our cousin as a gift? I'm a 19-year-old male. My mother is 57 and my cousin is 13-year-old male. So I waited until 2021 November to try a PS5. I've been trying since release. And on the 22nd of November, I finally got one. I was so excited to do everything with this console and couldn't wait that I bought another controller and so many games to have with this baby, even though I took out a bit of my time/savings. But this is also the time when people take Christmas presents into consideration, and I kept this like a present to myself. My cousin, I'll call him Joe, has autism, and I love the little dude. But I need to clarify that he's very spoiled and his parents don't do anything to teach him a lesson. He really wanted a PS5, and there were so many tantrums when he didn't get one. So to keep the peace, my mom took my PS5 when I was at school and hid it from me. I was shocked when I didn't see it there, and I really started to cry as I spent so much money for it. My mom told me that she took my PS5 to calm down my cousin, and that she'll pay me back. And her idea of paying me back is an iPad. I yelled at her for so long, saying how long it took me to get it and save up money for it, and how dare she do that and invade my space. She hung up on me saying I wasn't being myself and giving me time to calm down. But I wasn't ready to calm down. I went to my cousin's house, rang up the doorbell, took my PS5 and games. I forgot to mention she took the games as well. A £300 iPad isn't going to cover £700 worth of stuff. And then went home. My aunt tried to stop me saying how this is all my sweet baby wants for Christmas. But I didn't care and drove straight home. My whole family's giving me so much pressure, saying I should give it back as it's not my right to go against my mother's wishes. I do feel kind of bad since his family's not that financially stable, and them buying a PS5, if they can find one, will screw up some stuff. So am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. It's yours and your mother stole it. That's a crime now. Family or not, doesn't matter. Yeah, it's sad that your cousin's family doesn't have much money, but it's still a crime to steal stuff then. My sister used to give my stuff away. I always took it back from the person who got my stuff. I told her one more time and I'll report her to the police, because it's mine. If your mother want to gift him a PS5, she can buy one and give it to him. This one is yours. My mom used to give away my stuff, so I started giving her stuff away. She never gave away anything of mine again. It's petty, but I'd love for Opie to offer one of his mother's belongings as compensation to the aunt. Not stay home, but make sure you either take it with you or lock it up every time you leave, or she will give it back. I hate how families like that. You work your butt off for your things and they try to give them away. I've put a lock on the room where I keep all of my important things, so I don't have to go through it again. Lock receipts and pictures, including a photo of the receipt in your email or storage, whether it's USB drive, cloud, or both. Not stay home. However, I'm guessing your mom did this because she doesn't really understand the difference between a PS5 and an iPad. Seems odd, I know, but I've encountered situations where people think any computer-esque device is either a laptop or an iPad. Tell her to get your cousin the iPad. Tell your mom to go buy him one with her money. Good luck. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not letting my cousin borrow my wedding dress? 5 years ago, I got married, and I had a costume wedding dress made by my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law has since passed in a car accident. It was so unexpected, and it broke my husband's heart. So now we are saving the wedding dress for my daughter who was named after my mother-in-law. My cousin Gigi, no direct blood relationship with my mother-in-law, is now wanting to wear my wedding dress. Her mother, and my granny are all on this warpath that this is her dream dress, and I should let her wear it. That it would be a tribute to my mother-in-law. Again, this is my side of the family and no direct relationship to my mother-in-law. Gigi was obsessed with my wedding dress when I had it, and she has already said she wanted to wear it. Gigi is not my size, much larger front and hips, so the dress would have to be majorly altered. My husband said no. He wants to have our daughter wear it when she's grown up, and have it altered for her or turned into a veil. My daughter is under a year, and my family said that's years off, and that I should let them borrow it now. My cousin has turned petty at my refusal, and has disinvited my parents, siblings, and their children. She told us because I'm costing her thousands of dollars because she's had to pay for a dress to look like mine. And she's also mad because I won't lend her my dress to have it copied because I 100% don't trust her with it. My auntie and granny have banned me from their life over this because it's the one thing my cousin has wanted since she saw me in my wedding dress. I was told if I don't do this, I'm cut off from any events my granny hosts. And my mom is too because she has raised such a selfish and entitled daughter. Not stay home. They are being ridiculous. However, please don't pressure your daughter to wear it when she's older. She deserves her own dream. Good point. A wedding dress that your grandmother made that your parents have been saving for you your entire life. That's a huge obligation for something that should be a personal choice. Obviously, but most wedding dresses have tons of fabric. So most can be reused as potentially anything, within reason. I have a family friend that turned her 80s wedding dress into christening gowns for her grandkids, and there's still material left over. Not stay whole, but your family has inspired me. There is an amazing apartment with a terrace in my building that I have wanted ever since we moved in. I'm going to knock on their door and demand the apartment, because apparently if you see something you like, you are automatically entitled to it. Absolutely. If they stop you, they're standing in the way of your dream. Or write off the entire side of the family, because they could all pressure Opie into doing something she said no to. What a psycho. He had a former sister-in-law that wrote off the entire side of her husband's family, a brother, side of the family over a comment one person, not immediate family, made to her, which she took as a rude comment. My mother never saw her grandchildren grow up. 12 years later, my brother finally divorced her. Completely toxic situation. And sadly, we don't really have a connection to the kids. Not stay home. She is only entitled to what she can afford. I would caution you to make sure you place your dress in a very secure place. You don't want them showing up to visit, only to later discover they stole your dress. Next story. Am I the a-hole for hiring a babysitter without asking and forwarding the bill to my brother? Plus a little update. I, 23 female, have a nephew and niece, 5 and 7 years old. My brother called last week and asked me to take them for 2 days as he and my sister-in-law had a doctor's appointment out of state. I agreed, but warned them that I can only watch the kids Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I had a bunch of important meetings, and I will be glued to my laptop for hours, unable to check on the kids. He said he got it. Well, Tuesday around 8 p.m., they were supposed to be picked at 9:30 p.m. My brother called and asked me to keep them another day because they got delayed and have not even started driving back. I got pissed off because if I was told earlier, maybe I might have been able to postpone most meetings or even call in sick. However, no one was at work at 8 p.m., and I find it unprofessional to cancel the same day without a really good reason. I told him to come get his kids, and he became very defensive and rude, calling me unsupportive. To be clear, they went for a tummy tuck for my sister-in-law. No real medical emergency. He called mom, but she had already gone to bed, and he had the audacity to tell me to drive 1.5 hours to her house, wake her up, and make her take the kids. I said no. We fought more with my sister-in-law giving her 2 cents in the background as well, before they hung up and stopped picking up till the next day. I found a nice babysitter the next day, thankfully, and because it was last minute, I paid $200 for a few hours. Still mad, I just forwarded a bill to my brother, expecting him to pay. My sister-in-law called and screamed her butt off, calling me a irresponsible witch, because how dare I leave her kids with a stranger? I was in the middle of work still, and hung up on her and just forwarded a bill to her as well. An hour later, my mom showed up at my house and took the kiddos. Now my brother is still refusing to pay, and my mom said I was petty. Things come up, and it was wrong of me not to consult them before hiring a babysitter for so much money. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I don't think I explained well everything because I am still angry. Some facts I missed. I called twice my brother in the morning to inform him of the babysitter. He did not pick up. My mom will work 1 to 2 p.m., and if I had taken the kids to her house, it would have been her neighbor, Marcy, watching them. I start work at 8 a.m., so as you can imagine, I would have had to get the kids up at 4 a.m. and run out the house at 4:30 a.m. to be safe if there is traffic. And that particular day, I worked overtime, so from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. If I wanted to save my brother some money, I would have had to screw both with the kids' sleeping schedule and mine. Plus, Marcy was not answering at 9 p.m. We were pretty sure she could take them, but my mom confirmed this only at 7 a.m., which means my workday would have been postponed to at least 10:30 if I was to drop them off with Marcy. Hope this makes sense. Also, I work from home. I was keeping an eye on the babysitter and children. Also to add, my work is productivity-based. I have to file a report every Friday on what I have done and someone goes over it. Some days I work an hour or two, others I stay 14 hours coding. My mom knows this well, and she argued my meetings can be postponed till the next day, which they could, but it would leave a very bad impression with my superiors, as one of the meetings concerned a promotion I had asked for, and they were reviewing my projects and productivity. I am 23, this is my dream job. Maybe my work would have understood considering how chill they usually are, but I was not taking a chance. My career means a lot to me. Now for the top comments before the little update. Not today, home. How would you be able to consult them if they stopped answering their phones? It is on your brother and sister-in-law to find alternate coverage when they were delayed, but they didn't, so you had to make sure it didn't affect your job. They knew you had to work on Wednesday, and their only thought was to have you drive 1.5 hours to physically wake up your mom? Nah, I can see if she maybe lived 10 to 30 minutes away, but not 1.5 hours. They shouldn't have stopped communicating and need to pay up. This whole situation is on them, and don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Your only downfall was agreeing to watch their kids so your sister-in-law could have plastic surgery. This is the thing that shocked me the most. Have your kids. In what world would you stop picking up for well over 12 hours? What if I was not calling to fight, but for something related to their health and well-being? Yup, you don't stop communicating with a person who has your children without a really good reason. And them being told they needed to abide by the original agreement times is not a valid reason to ignore your calls or texts. Not stay home. You gave them the days you were available. They agreed to those days. They tell you 1 hour before they were supposed to pick them up you were getting stuck with them another day despite knowing your situation. For them to call 1 hour before pickup and haven't even left yet means they knew hours previous to that call that they weren't going to make it in time, but chose to not say anything until the last minute, and they wanted you to fix the situation by picking up your life doing a 3-hour round trip to wake your mom up in the middle of the night because they are irresponsible. I'd 100% put my foot down and say until the money's repaid, no future babysitting will be happening for any length of time for any reason at all. After this behavior, no babysitting, period. I spent a better part of my nights panicking what to do and thinking of a very good lie for work. I maybe slept 2 to 3 hours waiting for the morning to start calling babysitting agencies, and if no luck, my manager and get an earful from him. Not stay home. They can afford a tummy tuck and several nights away in a hotel, then they can afford to pay for babysitting. You might not get the money back, but pay the sitter. Then never take their kids again. Not even 10 minutes. Oh, and tummy tucks aren't a real easy recovery. Definitely let them experience the consequences of no longer having you as a resource when she has her vanity procedure. Now for the little update. I sent this post to my brother, sister-in-law, and mom, and they all went nuts. At this point, I am being petty and a-holish, but I regress. With most people telling not to stay all here, I kinda gained some confidence to lash back further. Thank you. You can all rest assured my brother and sister-in-law are pissed our family's dirty laundry was aired on the whole wide web. Insert an eye roll because account is anonymous, and I have not mentioned any names of parties involved. I have been uninvited from Easter, and I was informed I can stick my $200 where the sun doesn't shine. Well, worth it to annoy them. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not canceling my bachelorette trip because of my sister-in-law's emergency? Last weekend was my bachelorette trip. The hotel my friends and I would stay at was booked. We had already made so many arrangements, and I didn't cancel any of that after my sister-in-law had a health emergency and was rushed into hospital. She had a heart attack 2 days before I'd leave for the trip. For context, my sister-in-law and I have always had a very bad relationship because she has been racist towards me. She has insulted my 6-year-old son whom I have from another marriage. She has urged her kids to bully my son, and she claims that if her and my fiancé's mother was still alive, she'd make sure I'd never get married to my fiancé. She's also tried to get my fiancé to hook up with one of her friends in order to break us up. My fiancé is low contact with her, but to this point, I'm completely no contact. And at the wedding, I'm simply gonna tolerate her for my fiancé's sake. When she had a heart attack, my fiancé told me to immediately cancel the trip and plans because it wouldn't be right of me to celebrate while his sister is at the hospital. I told him that I'm not gonna cancel a trip my friends that I have already paid for a woman who would probably celebrate on my hospital bed if I were in her position. He said I'm right, but I should cancel because regardless, it's gonna be a bad look for his relatives if I disrespect his sister like that. He said he doesn't really care. He just wants to avoid a drama of his family. I told him I honestly don't give a damn about what his relatives will think, because all of them were bystanders not doing anything or saying anything while she was horrible to me the whole time. He supported my decision, but after that, his relatives were of course mad at me and cussing me out, and threatened to not attend the wedding. Am I the a-hole? Info. Why are you marrying a man who not only lets his sister treat you this way, but who lets his sister treat your child this way? My fiancé and his sister did not get along either. She was horrible to him as well throughout childhood because they had different dads. She's the oldest one, and she didn't consider him a brother unless it benefited her agenda. They've only been low contact and only wish each other on holidays and birthdays. He wasn't even 100% certain he wanted her at the wedding, but invited her in order to avoid drama with the rest of the relatives. He didn't care about me going on the trip. He only cared about not causing drama with the rest of his family. Has fought with her many times over her actions. Okay, that's good to hear. I still think you're not the a-hole, but I wasn't sure about him. I can't blame him for not wanting drama with the extended family, but if they know how she treats you, then they shouldn't fault you either. And like you say, they're all to blame for not defending you to her. I mean, there is peacekeeper, then there is pushover. There are times to keep the peace, but having someone being racist towards your fiancé and encouraging the bullying of your future stepchild is not it. I would blow up any relationships I had to get that kind of person out of my life personally. Your fiancé is avoiding conflict at your expense. The only people his appeasement policy helps are himself and his racist sister. Not stay home. Sounds like it worked out if the toxic relatives won't attend a wedding. Yep, go and enjoy yourself. If any relatives want to miss the wedding over this, good riddance.
Would I be the a-hole if I kick my boyfriend's sister out our house? Plus updates. Original post. I, 25 female, have been with my boyfriend, 27 male, for 3 years, and he moved in with me last year. Everything was going great, until last Christmas when his parents announced they were selling the family home and downsizing, but they wanted to go on one of those 6-month-long cruises around the world. Fine, whatever. They can do what they want. Except they have a younger daughter, Emma, who is 18. Completely unbeknownst to me, my boyfriend had agreed to let Emma live with us until she moved away to uni. This led to a lot of fights between my boyfriend and me because I didn't want Emma living with us. Despite all this, she moved in after the house sold in February. It has been hell. For starters, our house might have 3 bedrooms, but only one was used as a bedroom. One is my home office, and the other was a home gym for me and my boyfriend. Emma turned the gym into her room, and now a lot of our equipment is in storage. I hate having Emma here. She's a total brat and doesn't contribute anything to the house. Here is just a small list of the nonsense I have to deal with. The second Emma turned 18, she was out with friends, coming back drunk at 3 a.m. and waking up my dogs as she clattered into the house, normally with an equally drunk friend. For the first month of her living with us, she would steal my stuff constantly. Skincare, hair care, perfume, clothes, anything. I now have a lockable box for toiletries so she can't get to them. She has lost 6 different sets of house keys since moving in, and I've had to have the lock changed twice due to various issues. She refuses to do anything I ask her to do because she's busy. She doesn't have a job. How is she busy? She refuses to eat anything I cook and will demand we order takeaway instead. I have asked her repeatedly for meal ideas, and even if I make that exact meal, she refuses to eat it because it doesn't taste right. The breaking point came last weekend when my boyfriend, the dogs, and I went away for the weekend. I was reluctant to leave Emma in the house by herself, but my boyfriend said it would be a great way for Emma to gain some independence before going to uni. Big freaking mistake. We came back on Sunday evening to a trashed house and a hungover Emma asleep in her room. I had to get a professional cleaner in on Monday to tackle the worst of the mess after I spent half the night cleaning. I'm done. I want her out of the house. I thought I could deal with this until she moved away in September, but I can't. Especially now that she's talking about putting her place on hold for a year so she can go traveling and use our house as a base. No, I want her gone and out ASAP. True, she has nowhere to go, as her parents aren't back from their cruise until the end of August. But I don't care. I want her gone. I've talked to my boyfriend about this, and he won't budge because Emma is family and he can't kick her out. So, would I be the a-hole if I kick her out? Edit. Forgot to mention this in the post, or maybe it wasn't clear. It's my house. I own it outright with no mortgage, and my boyfriend is not on any official documents. The only thing in his name is our Sky TV payments. Everything else is in my name, as I lived here before he moved in. He does pay half towards bills, but he just sends the money to me each month. I'm going to try and talk to Emma and my boyfriend's parents. I've sent them a text message asking to call me ASAP. I'm also reaching out to Emma and my boyfriend's older sister to see if she will take Emma in for a while. I doubt she will, as they don't get along and she has a 2-year-old, but it's worth a shot. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the a-hole, but I think you need to kick the boyfriend out with her. He doesn't respect you at all. This is the right way to proceed. Like Emma, your boyfriend is using you and your kindness. You can do better. Start the official eviction process on both of them. Neither of them are on the deed or paying the mortgage. Therefore, they are legally tenants. Treat them as such. They, and especially your boyfriend, deserve zero sympathy for the way they have treated you. Good luck. Mini update. I am such a goddamn idiot. Firstly, thanks to all the comments, I've realized that my boyfriend is not the person I want to be spending the rest of my life with. Secondly, I managed to have a video call with my boyfriend's parents and wow, just wow. First of all, they have been sending Emma £700 a month to cover her living with us, and I haven't seen a penny of it. Their mom mentioned that I could take the cleaner fee out of Emma's money, and I asked what money she meant because Emma doesn't have a job. She laughed and said, the £700 we send Emma each month to cover all her expenses while she lives with you. They've been sending Emma money, and she was supposed to be giving it to us to cover everything. Either Emma has been keeping it, or she's given it to my boyfriend, and he hasn't said a word. Surprisingly, her parents were furious that I haven't seen any of this money, and they are sending me a bank transfer of £4,200 to cover the money Emma should have been giving us since February. They're sending it to my personal account, and I can do with it as I see fit. I was brutally honest on the call and said that I can't have Emma staying with us any longer. Yes, she might leave in September, but what if she doesn't get the results she needs for uni and has to defer? Or if she takes a gap year? I'm not putting up with this for another year. Their mom is going to talk to her sister and see if Emma can stay there until they get back at the end of August. For those wondering, yes, they have a house all lined up for when they return. They will not be living with us when they get back. I'm going to have a serious talk with my boyfriend this evening, and I'm now rethinking our whole relationship. If he tries to fight over Emma staying, then it's over. A lot of the comments in this post have made me realize that I've been a doormat to this man since Emma moved in. Also that I should have been charging him rent. And I'm not standing for it anymore. Wish me luck, helpful Reddit folks. Wish me luck. Now for the full update. Hi all, I want to start this off by saying thank you to everyone. Your comments gave me a serious wake-up call. I currently can't post an update on AITA because this is still ongoing. I won't waffle, so here's the update. I sat both my boyfriend, we're calling him Tom, and Emma down last night and laid down the law. I said that Emma needed to go, and I couldn't put up with her attitude and disrespect any longer. For those wondering if Tom knew about the money, he did. He wasn't keeping it, but he knew about it. He thought it would be a great chance for Emma to learn about budgeting and responsibilities. I said that the evidence proves she hasn't learned anything, and if you give an 18-year-old £700 a month that she hasn't had to work for, she's going to go nuts with it. If Tom thought that would teach her any kind of responsibility, then he's dumber than I was for putting up with either one of them. Emma tried to defend herself, saying that she thought living with me would be a chance to bond, and that I could become another sister for her. I fired back with, if this is how you treat your siblings, then it's no wonder your actual sister doesn't like you. Mean but fair. As far as my relationship goes, I think I'm done. I've told Tom that I need some space and to seriously think about this relationship, as this whole ordeal has shaken me. Emma's going to stay with her aunt, and so is Tom. Their aunt is driving over tomorrow to get Emma and her stuff. Tom is going with them and staying there for a week or so. When he's back, we'll have a proper sit-down and talk through everything. Sorry this isn't more detailed, but I'm really drained from the last 24 hours and just want my house back to some semblance of normal. How did Tom saw the 700 as learning after months of his sister not learning anything? I honestly have no idea. He has a blind spot for his younger sister because she's the baby. But seriously, there's a point when you have to tell her to grow up, learn some responsibilities, and start acting like an adult. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to sell the crystal I got from my grandmother? My grandmother collected stones and crystals for decades. About 50 years ago, her brother gifted her a 25-kilogram crystal, clear quartz geode he found. I don't know the exact story. My grandmother's love for crystals and stones is the reason I started collecting them too. For the last couple of years before she passed away, she would gift me a couple of items from her collection every time I saw her. She had the giant crystal displayed in her house, and she knew how much I loved it, often telling me that if I still collected crystals when she passed away, I would get it. Unfortunately, she passed from cancer when I was 9. Since she had promised me the crystal, my dad kept it for safekeeping. I didn't have the space for it in my bedroom, and I had been moving around finishing my degree since I moved out of my parents' house, so the crystal has been at my parents' house since she passed. I bought my first home earlier this year and got the keys on August 1st, so I am in the process of fully moving in. When I started moving into my home, I was offered the crystal since my grandmother wanted me to have it, and I finally have space for it and won't be moving anytime soon. When I got the crystal, I also received some paperwork from when my grandmother had it valued back in the 90s. It was valued at around 5,000 euros. I have no clue if this estimate is even remotely correct today, and I don't care since I don't plan on selling it. When my siblings found out the price of the crystal, they got mad that I got something so expensive and wanted me to sell it and split the value between us. I have refused to do so. My grandmother wanted me to have it because she didn't want someone to just sell it. My siblings feel this is unfair since they only got some sentimental items but nothing worth real money. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to sell the crystal I got from my grandmother? Another post about sharing too much financial info with family members. Why did they even need to know the value? We were all at our parents' house to share other items from our grandparents when I got the documents. The crystal had been mine since she passed, but I now have the space for it. Since they were there when I got it, they saw the worth. Not the a-hole. Your grandmother clearly wanted you to have it, and your parents also clearly wanted you to have it. They asked you, you said yes, it's yours. None of your siblings seemed to be interested in the item until a price was mentioned. You can do whatever you want with it. If you don't want to sell it, then don't sell it. Don't let them pressure you. It clearly holds a lot of value in your heart. I hope you come to the conclusion that is best for you. You are certainly not the a-hole. Also, she passed when you were 9. You just got your first house? It's been years and years since she passed, and they're just now complaining about not getting stuff worth anything from their grandmother? It's clearly about the money. I haven't sold anything that was given to me from my grandmothers after they passed, and I don't plan to. They hold meaning. She passed 14 years ago, and she left each of her grandkids items based on the things she did with each of us. I haven't been able to have the crystal displayed so far because of the size, while living with my parents and moving around a lot after moving out, but I have known the entire time it was mine. At least you learned a valuable lesson. Never discuss money, income, savings, etc. with anyone, except your spouse. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to take my ex-wife to the ER? This incident occurred a decade ago, but recently came up in conversation with my oldest son, who was 7 at the time. While I believed I was justified in the moment, over the years I have come to the conclusion that I am not proud of my actions that day. My son maintains that I did the right thing. 6 months prior to the incident, my wife and I had agreed to divorce after her extramarital activities came to light. We agreed on everything except who would keep the house. I told her that unless she took over the mortgage and utilities, I would not be leaving. 2 months prior, when it was evident that I was staying put, she made a play to remove me from the home and had me served with a 2-week TRO. Caught off guard, I rented a room with a co-worker in the neighborhood and hired a lawyer. I followed all the rules, went to court, answered all of the judge's questions, and the TRO was revoked. After 3 weeks, I was back in my house, and she was angrier than ever. I'm including this background only because it explains my combative state of mind during the event. 2 weeks prior, I took my kids out of state to visit family for Christmas and New Year's. I asked Amy, my soon-to-be ex-wife, to shovel the walk and porch stairs while we were away. She didn't, and upon our return there were 2 inches of ice on the stairs and sidewalk. The day after we returned, Amy had arranged to meet up with a Craigslist seller to buy a piece of furniture for the house she had rented. She was going with her friend Lisa, who had also set up a Craigslist purchase of her own. When Lisa pulled into the driveway, Amy hurriedly ran out the door, slipped on the icy porch steps, and landed on a ceramic planter, cutting her hand open. It wasn't a life-or-death situation, but there was blood, and she did need stitches. She came back in, freaking out. I told her to go wrap it up and have Lisa take her to the ER. Meanwhile, Lisa had come up to the door to see what the commotion was about. I told Lisa that she needed to take Amy to the ER. Lisa said she wasn't going to blow off her Craigslist meetup, and that I should take her. I said that ER visits weren't part of my role anymore. Lisa accused me of acting abusively. I sarcastically asked her why she would want to leave her friend dependent on her abuser. Ultimately, Lisa left for her meetup, and I packed up the kids and dropped Amy off at the ER. I let her find her own way home. If you had asked me the next day, I would have said I acted righteously and that Lisa should have stepped up for her friend. With the clarity of time, I feel that I should have swallowed my pride and better demonstrated for my kids how a father should act. Lay it on me. Edit. I see many comments suggesting she could have driven herself. We owned only manual cars, and her injury would have made her unable to shift gears. Now for the comments. Lol lay what on you? You did what you were asked, albeit begrudgingly, totally allowed, and went on your way. She set herself up for that, not the a-hole. When someone cheats on you, a divorce is granted and a marriage is terminated. Any obligations are nixed. You can be nice, be civil, but be for you and your kids. She has Lisa. That's sweet, sweet judgment. I mean, you did take her when it became clear that Lisa wasn't going to, so you did what any human should do for another in a crisis. I don't think any negative judgment is warranted. My first reaction also would have been, get there yourself. You've already demonstrated you don't want me in your life, but I probably would have done what you did in the end. My ex called me up a few months after moving into her new condo, telling me there was water dripping down from her living room ceiling. And what would you like me to do about it? Call the builder or a plumber? Or your father? I'm no longer responsible for maintaining the house you live in. That was a sweet feeling. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my mom wear white to my wedding, even though she claims it's her last chance to feel beautiful? I just turned 23 and I'm getting married in October. My mom and I have always had what I would refer to as a rocky relationship, especially since I got engaged. She's been oddly competitive, commenting on my body, comparing our rings like we're in a competition, and saying things like, "This day is as much about me as it is about you." I honestly thought she was joking until she showed me the dress she bought, a white, floor-length gown that looks exactly like a bridal dress. I told her flat out that she cannot wear it because, in my opinion, it doesn't match the occasion. She got quiet, then burst into tears, saying it's her, and this was an opportunity to feel beautiful before getting old, and that I'm selfish for not letting her have this one thing. I felt really bad about this, so I also offered to go shopping with her to find something elegant and more appropriate. And all of a sudden, her entire demeanor changed. She told me I was controlling and ungrateful. What gave me peace was that my fiancé backed me up, as did my maid of honor. Now my mom is threatening not to come to the wedding, and my aunt says I should just let her have this, to avoid drama. I don't think I'm wrong for drawing a line here, but now part of me wonders, am I the a-hole? Now my mom is threatening not to come to the wedding. Your mother is extremely manipulative. Take her up on that offer, not the a-hole. This the best response. OP, stop engaging with her tantrums. Mom, you cannot wear white. You will not be allowed in if you show up in a white dress. Plus people will secretly mock you for it. Will miss you if you can't make it. Then disengage from the convo. Go low info with her on the rest of your wedding plans. Not the a-hole. Your mom is being ridiculous. Sorry she cannot see this. It hurts me because I took my time to explain to her that it shouldn't be on my wedding, but she's not even considering. Not the a-hole, and to be honest, you should bar her from attending your wedding. Where is her father in this mess? Don't let her drama become your problem. Besides, do you have any idea how pathetic she would look showing up like the desperate pick-me chick at her daughter's wedding? My dad is a story for another day. My mom is the only family I have, and it breaks my heart that she wouldn't be there because of something so trivial.